Hello, everyone. My name is Jesse, and thank you for joining us for another round of our Speedy Beginner's Guide to Mama Merch. In this month, Cynthia is going to be walking us through some of the basic functionality, simple troubleshooting, and going over some of the new features that have just been released. Today is Thursday, July 13th, and we thank you for joining, and thank you, Cynthia, for doing this. Take it away.
Thank you, Jesse. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be looking at a new feature that was added to Mambo Merge. It's called the Merge Data Output. I'll go ahead and share my screen so we can see. All right, here we are on Mambo Merge. Before I go any little further, we're going to go ahead to a page where I already have Mambo Merge on. I'm going to show you guys what version that I'm using today. We'll go to support here. You can see down on the footer, today I'm going to be using the May release. The version number that I'm using is 1.28.3. If at any time that you see there is a feature here that does not match the Mambo Merge in your org, you can update your Mambo Merge through the App Exchange on the website or even through your setup in Salesforce. Another thing is a lot of the features today that I'll be showing are part of Pro Edition. If you do not have Pro Edition in your org right now, you can reach out to us at support@MamboMerge or sales@mambomerge.com, and we can set you up with a trial so you can do a little test run in your org. So as I said, we'll be looking at the merge data output. I'll be doing it for the context, so we'll go ahead and go over there. What is merge data output? Well, when you select records in your Salesforce to use with Mambo Merge, and it's going to create that template, or it's going to create that document from your template. The data that we get from Salesforce, we refer to as merge data. So that's taking the Mambo Merge code that you're putting in your template, and it's also associating it with the value that you actually want in your document. So we're going to be compiling all the records you've selected and putting them together so that you can see all of that merged data. So what would be going to your document if you put every possible option in it? To get started, we're going to go ahead, get Mambo Merge on the page. We go up to the gear icon here for setup, and we're going to select Edit Page. Here, this takes us to the Lightning App Builder. You'll see in the middle, there's the preview. On the right, there's details about the selected item from the preview that we've clicked on. And then on the left, you can see components here. I could scroll down all the way down to Custom Manage to select the Mambo Merge app to put onto the actual page, but I could start typing in Mambo. And you'll see down here under Custom Manage, as I said, there's our little orange icon, Mambo Merge. We click, drag, place it, and you'll see now that I've put Mambo Merge, this has changed. We're not going to fill out any of this right now, but you can see Mambo Merge there already previewing its pre-version look where you can drag and drop options. We'll go ahead and hit save, and then we'll go back to the page. So from Mambo Merge, the actual component, there's this drop-down menu. We'll select it. Earlier you saw that if I select support, that's how I was able to see the exact version number of the Mambo Merge version I'm using. But if we go up to setup, you can also see down here, it still says it. So that's a good option if you're still unsure or you forget. Any of the drop-down menus will show you that. As you see, I have tons of configurations. You can have so many of them. Great thing to keep in mind is description, adding it in. You see this guy? Don't know what he is, but the rest tell me. We're not going to use any of these configurations. We're going to start with a new one. So we go up to New Configuration on the top right, click it. We're in our configuration wizard. You can see here, primary Salesforce object is set to contact. Now, I could have used Mambo Merge on any other page, the ones that I already have Mambo Merge there. The only thing that would have happened is, had I done it on the opportunity object, this would have filled in with opportunity. In that case, we would have just cleared it. And then you could see, you could scroll through, find what you're looking for. But a great thing I want to remind everybody that you can do you can start typing in. And you see C is checking all the common objects. O, still checking common objects. Contact is there, but if I was looking for a more custom object, I wanted to make sure I was searching everything, I could go ahead and add that third one, and you see now it says con in all objects. So if you're trying to find an object, you're not working on the object itself, you can go ahead, type it in, and Mambo Merge will find it for you. So we'll just continue to spell out contact a little. There it is. Reselect it. Now I'm back to here. We're not going to be doing a single record. We're going to be doing a record where. Record where is kind of like a hard-coded instance. So I'm always going to be looking for these parameters of which records I want to use. Today I'm going to be doing a contact object, and I'm going to be looking for my field that tells me that they want no email contact. We'll scroll down, still looking for it. There it is, no email contact. And I'm going to keep the operator to equal. But if this was going to be a field where I was looking for comparing numbers, I would have the option of greater than equal options. If I was going to be putting in actual like a field fill out here, I could also do in or not included. But we're just going straight equal. And then we can check this. Now this says no email contact equals true. This means they don't want to receive an email contact, but I actually want to be sending people emails, so I'm going to make this false. So now it says no email contact equals false. That's what's happening behind the scene for Mambo Merge. I can also sort how I want my documents. I'm going to go with when this was a created contact. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do descending so that I get the oldest one first. And then we're done here on the page. Just a reminder, contact primary object, record where. I want the no contacts not checked. And then it's going to be ordered by created date. So going on. Here we can add a relationship. This is another pro addition value here. We can add in a lookup field or a related list. Lookup field is going to be a one-to-one. So an example is you have a contact, it has one account attached to it. So one-to-one. Doesn't have more than one account attached to the single contact. Now you can see it does give you options of these lookup fields that it already knows. I'm going to go ahead and select account ID. Now a great thing with Mambo Merge is account ID, your account, we're already grabbing some of those details that are pretty common people want. I want just one more little thing. I'm going to be looking for the number of locations. So down here it is, there it is. I'm going to add that in. We'll see when we go to the next page, there are other fields that are going to be there with my numbers of locations. Those are the ones that Mambo Merge already is assuming that you might want, so you don't have to do anything extra. It's kind of a great thing. I could add in another relationship. It's a related list. A good example is you might have several cases to one contact, or you have several opportunities to one contact. We're not going to need any of that information today, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this relationship. If I left it there, actually, I'll show you what it looks like. Doesn't want to let me go. Tells me exactly what is going to keep me from moving forward. So I know I need to fill this out or I remove it. So we've removed it. Now we can go to the next page. This is our merge data page. That's what we were talking about. We want to do this merge data output. Here you can see what the merge data can look like. It's all these fields here. They're obviously put in the Mambo Merge code format. So when you're putting it into your template, it's these curly brackets, and then the field there, then the closing curly brackets. And then here you see the value of what's happening, what each field is going to generate for us. If I go up, and let's look at somebody new, you'll see there's more information happening here. Same things, I can change it. We can check on John, Bon, not to be confused with James. And you see, all of this data is filling in with his information. John, if we went back, you saw it was Annie. and then so on. We could go through everybody, check that everybody's field is going to be filled in. That's tedious. I'm going to forget. And when I'm testing out my templates, it's going to be even more tedious. So this is where that output is going to be very helpful. It's going to take all of this information and output it for us. So before we continue on to the final steps for making that, I want to show you account number of locations right here with all this account information that we did not select. Mambo Merge already took a chance and said, most users want this, so here it is. So just a heads up on that. You don't always have to add a relationship. Maybe what you need is already being assumed by Mambo Merge. So going next, now we're on the templates page. I don't have a template for this merge data output. What does that mean? Do I build one? Do I need one? No. Mambo Merge is going to build it for us. So I don't want to select update a template or upload a template or upload it at time of merge template either. I want to do add blank template. Here we are. We have a blank template. We're going to select merge type. Just to remind you, one document per record. That's usually what we call a batch. Single document, one record per page. We tend to call that a bulk. Single document, multiple records per page. That's a condensed label maker usually. You can use it as a normal document, kind of similar to a bulk. But most people are going to probably use it as a label. And then we have it, output merge data right here. So we're going to go ahead and select that. It changed a little bit for us. Let's start filling it out. Label, this is going to be the name of the button that we select when Mambo Merge is on our page, whether it's a button, drop down, or even a radio button. So I'm going to keep it simple for me. Merge data, and it's going to be the output. So there we go. When I look at Mambo Merge on my page, this is what I'm going to see on the button. Destination. Where do I want this document to go? So I can save it to a library, it says, or I can download immediately. I'm going to download immediately. I don't feel like I need this in my org for any reason, but I want it on my computer instantly. So there we go. Template file. This is where we would usually select our template. I don't need to. Mambo Merge is going to make this document for me. So we'll move on. Generate file name. Now, usually you can put any merge field you want here, but because this is kind of similar to a bulk, we're getting several records at once, and it's all going to be put into one record. I can't use a merge field. Otherwise, if I selected 25 records, how am I going to put 25 different names into the file name? So Mambo Merge doesn't allow those fields to work, but 3 do, and that's now, today, and this year. I'm going to go ahead and fill out the name I want. I'm going to put merge data, the contact, so I know it's the merge data of contact. And then I'm going to put, we're going to get a little crazy here. We're going to put 2 versions of merge fields here. We'll put today. This will give me the date for today, pretty straightforward. And then I'll put now. How is this different than today? Now is telling me the time. So today, it's going to give me the date. Now it's going to give me the time. That's going to be great if I have to go and make this document 2 times. Maybe I changed a lot of data and I want to get a new version of it. How will I know that they're different ones? Sure, my computer will remember which one I downloaded sooner or later. But I'm not a computer. I don't want to waste my time having to look, find it all. It's going to be easier if I just see the name and it has that details for me. Helps me in the long run. I'm just a person. I'm not going to remember the difference. So now we can decide, do we want a CSV or an XLSX? CSV, there's probably more reasons for why you want that if you're going to use it in another step. I'm going to just use it in an Excel spreadsheet. So we'll go ahead and select that. We'll hit next after we've made sure everything is filled out as we need. Perfect. Now here we can do post-merge actions. Again, another pro addition feature. I could, let's review it, update record, save task, but there's actually 3 options that we can do for post-merge actions. One of them is missing. send an email. Why is it missing? Well, let's jump back real quick. This download immediately, that's not going to let us send the email. For Mambo Merge to work with the Salesforce email system that's inside, it needs to have that document inside Salesforce. It's going to attach it as an attachment. So let's real quick save this to a library just to show you guys. Output folder right here, select, and we'll hop back over. Our little action is still here waiting to be decided, send email. So we could send email. I would select an email template. I don't have one that's going to work really for me just sending myself a document. So I could just select a new customer email for now, just showing you guys. And then we could normally just not fill this out, depending on what kind of send email or document generation we're sending. But we're actually doing kind of like, again, a bulk. All these records are being put into one document. So we're not going to send everybody's information, right? We are probably going to send this to one person. I would be sending it to myself. I could type out my name, my email, I mean, and that would work. And then if I wanted it to not be sent from myself, I could select here and it shows me my recent one of like an org-wide email address. So if you were sending this to anybody that needed to get it from the company itself, you could choose that instead of just having the user who clicks the button sending the email. But we're not going to be doing this. So I'm going to go ahead, delete this. Our original plan was just to have it download immediately. So back to download immediately. Everything's still good. Going in next. We're not going to be doing any of the post-merge actions. I don't need to update the records. I don't need to save a task, and I don't need to send an email. I just want to grab all that merge data output. So moving on, final one, saving our configuration. So our configuration ID, that's going to be the name that we have for our configuration. That's also going to be the thing that we use to tell the component which configuration to use. Because as you saw, I have tons of them. And how does it know which one is the right one that it needs on this page? Configuration ID. So I'm going to go ahead, rename this MD output. Now, right here and now, I know what MD output means. Will I know what MD output means 5 months from now? Probably not. So I want to do a little description here. So I'm going to put merge data output, and then I'm also going to put its contact. But if you remember, we have a record where, and it's a set parameter. So I want to know that this is not going to grab me just any contact. It's going to get no email contact equals false. I could say that any other way. If it makes it much easier for you in your instance, you would have probably said, oh, contacts that allow email contact. You could do that. Fine. Just put a message there so you remember a couple months later what this merge is, what this configuration is doing. All right. So now we're at display type preview. Display type, this is going to change our preview here. So you can see best option right now, merge data output as a button. I click it, it's good to go. We do have other options. There's the drop down, the radio. There is a fourth option that is not appearing here. It is thumbnails. Why is thumbnails not appearing? Well, thumbnail shows you a thumbnail of your template. But I didn't put a template in. This is Mambo Merge making this document without a template that I provided. So there would be no thumbnail to show. That's the only reason why this one's not showing that. But if we were doing any other kind of merge without a merge data output, we could choose thumbnail. So if I was to add in other templates and still have this merge data, I still won't be able to do the thumbnail. Something to keep in mind in the future. But let's take a quick look. Drop down. I select it, and then I would hit merge here. Radio, it's a little circle here. I click it, and I hit merge. But again, we only have one option here. Button's going to be the best one for me. Another thing to note over here in the preview, we have this checkbox, show configuration ID. I can select that, and there we go. My title is there. I don't think I need this title here. My button is pretty clear. Maybe if there was two similar configurations that have similar names, I would want to put this here just for my own safety of, just sanity in testing. But I'm feeling confident this one's going to work for me. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. And then you'll see down here, MD output. Well, look at that. I have a configuration named merge data already. Looks like it's doing the same thing, but for direct customer accounts. Had I not named these things with the description, I might get a little confused here and thought, oh, that must be the one that I was working on. Again, just a reminder, utilize that description. It's going to help you in the long run. So moving forward, let's go. And we're at our contact page. But why is Mambo Merge not updating? Why are we not seeing our button? Well, we got to assign it to the component. So how did we do it? We go back the way that we put the component on the page. So I'm going to go ahead, select my gear icon up here in the right, go down to Edit Page, back to the Lightning App Builder. Preview is loading up. Mambo Merge is here. I click on it. And you can see template ID. Now, if I mouse over, it says the ID of a file or a configuration. So this is where I could have put a template ID. So the file ID of a template in my Salesforce org, I could assign it here, but that's just going to be like a free version option. But I'm using Pro, and that's where configurations come in handy. The configurations allow me to customize the button that's going to appear. It allows me to add those relationships. If you remember, we added the number of locations to my account field. It's going to allow me to do my post-merge actions. It's also going to allow me to do this merge data output. So here we go. We'll put MD output, and I can hit save and move on. But one thing I like to do for, just making sure I put the right info in before I hit save, I click somewhere else and it starts to update the preview. Just lets it know. You can also hit enter and it would do the same. This lets me know that I put the right one in. What if I had put that merge data one? Don't know what the button is at the moment, but maybe it would have been a different button and I would have been like, oh, yes, this is not the correct component I was just setting up. So type it in, maybe click somewhere else before you hit save. So we're going to go ahead, hit save. Changes saved right there. Good. So we can go back. And now we are on the page again. Mambo Merge is loading up. There's our button. I'm going to go ahead and click it. Watch real quick. It's fast. There's green. Boom. I've already downloaded it. And now I'm opening it. So let's look at what Mambo Merge gives us. So Mambo Merge gives us this. Ooh, looks a bit intimidating. But let's go ahead and open it so we can get a better look. Mambo Merge doesn't do anything too fancy. There's no colors, but it's very helpful. And let's look at this. Made it a little bit too wide. There we go. So what's happening? Let's highlight this, a less offensive color. There we go. So each of these are my records here. These are the values that are being outputted into your document when you use your merge fields. What's this up here? These don't quite look like the names that are in my Salesforce page. These are the merge fields. So what we could do from this page is, knowing what's being outputted for everybody, I can go in, copy this, add my curly brackets. So if I was doing that in my template, it would look like this. 2 curly brackets, and I just put what is up here in this top row, and then the closing curly brackets. And that's how I'm going to be building my template from here. Another great thing about this is, what if I was making a customized template where conditionals are happening? So I might think my template's not working. This person is supposed to have this kind of condition and I should be seeing this message and it's not happening. Well, if I went through here, I could see, check all my updates and no, okay, not compared. Nobody's got this one to change. Maybe that would be my conditional. So that's how I use it to test. And then also let's make sure that we got that. Close this guy. Let's close that guy there, interrupting the webinar. I'm going to go look for my account location. There it is. Bam. Filled out, ready to go. Now I can see maybe there's a conditional I need for a certain amount of number of locations. Maybe I only want to grab like 100 or so people, or locations with people that have, or people with locations that are probably over 100. And that'll be a condition in my template. I can know that. That's where I'm going to figure things out. So this is how I've used the merge data output to help me with testing, help me with building my template. One more thing before I give you back to Jesse is, if we go back to setup, I have this already filled out. The perfect relationships are set up. Now I can edit this, add in the templates I need, or if I don't want to lose this, I want to hold on to this in case I want to use it again, I can go ahead and clone it. It makes a copy of the merge. I can go in and edit the copy, rename it for the right configuration I need. And that way I still hold on to that other configuration and I can do the customizations without having to go in and mess everything up. So it's a real great tool in helping you with troubleshooting. There's always other options that you can use. If you guys have any questions or features that you want to suggest, I recommend reaching out to us. But for now, I'm going to return you to Jesse.
Thank you, Cynthia. And thanks everyone for those that submitted some questions here under that form that we sent over earlier on the chat there. We do have some questions here, so let me go ahead and start with one of the questions here that was sent over. You did mention something about records-ware configuration for that CSV file that you generated. Is there any way to generate that if you're trying to troubleshoot one particular record only at a time?
So it does not work with just one single record, but if we were doing one single record, there's the option of template builder. So if I select template builder right now, it's not going to show me everybody that I've selected for that configuration. It's showing me Rose Gonzalez, and that's who I'm on. So I still get all of these merge fields listed here. I can go through, check them, make sure which one's going to give me which option, and there I can do my troubleshooting with that.
Okay, wonderful. I guess we do have a different kind of question, not related to the topic of discussion right now. Must have been somebody that submitted this through one of our social channels or one of our placements where we post the form. The question goes, can I create a push button to generate multiple documents for a record? Like, for example, a copy of the invoice marked paid for our records and a receipt to send the client and an envelope with the client address, etc., populated.
So if I understand, they're asking if we can make individual documents for several records using
Yes.
those set fields. Yes, that would be if I go back in here, check in my configurations here. Let's see if we have this guy here. It's a record where it's an opportunity. It's 1 equals 1. So if my opportunity was 1, we'll skip through to the templates. And you can see I have this batch invoice here. It's the 1 document per record. So that's going to be the option you want. I have attached it to each record. So if I go to my post-merge actions, you can see that I can actually send an email with that. We could also be using the merge data output that we showed today so that you can get idea of which fields you want to use. Otherwise, you could also still do it the more simple way with using this merge data page here and grabbing your merge fields here. If you are in this stage right here and you don't see the fields that you want, it would be back. to the relationships here. So it all needs to be done on the pro level. Otherwise, if you're doing it with a free version, you won't get that post-merge action to be able to send the email, and you won't be able to do the batch merge of selecting several documents, several records at a time to do all those documents. And then you wouldn't be able to set up these relationships. So this would be a back and forth moment for you if you don't see the merge field you want here. But simple answer, yes, those features are available and they will do those tasks for you.
Okay. And one final question here that came in from that form is there any field level security settings that need to be assigned to the particular person that's going to be generating this file? I feel like, I guess the way I'm interpreting the question is some of the information may or may not populate if the user does not have access to those merge fields when they run this report.
Yes. So I would recommend that whoever's going to generate the document does the merge data output for you. Maybe somebody else sets up the configuration, but you want to make sure that whoever's doing that merge does this merge data output for you so that you know what they see and not what maybe the system admin sees.
Okay, wonderful. We actually have one more question here.
Perfect.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, and sorry for keeping us past the buzzer there. Regarding the no function, or sorry, now functionality that you showed, where it like puts the time in there. Just out of curiosity, is that the time that I push the button, or is it the time that the document was generated? Like if I'm producing a bunch of documents from a list view, and each document has that now on it, will it put the now of when each one of those was generated, or will have the same time across all of them because it's when I push the button?
I want to say that it is going to be when you push the button because it's going to be relying on the merge data that we collect.
Cool.
So
Thanks.
they'll all relatively have the same number time.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia, and thank you, Chris, for asking that question.
That was a great question.
Any further questions? As Chris did mention, we are a little bit past, so we do apologize for that. But on that note, we do want to thank everyone for joining. And if you did think of questions after this call, as it happens, feel free to send them through that form link that was provided earlier or still in the chat. Our next office hours is scheduled for Thursday, August 10th. So follow us on social media or email us to add you to the list. Thank you, Cynthia, for running us through this and answering questions. Thank you, folks, for asking questions, and have a wonderful rest of your day.